What's new, Poke Crew? It is your turn, Crowbat here, bringing you another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. Now, before we get started, please make sure you go into my description, make sure you click on the link for the Pokemon groups, make sure you click on the link for Poketown, show them some new turn love. Now, I'm bringing you another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle against Vince, aka Scruffy. This was a great battle. Let's get into it because I had a lot of fun with this one. But I have to let you guys know that I am going on vacation from the 15th to the 18th, so I won't be recording any battles, I won't be uploading any battles from then to the 18th, so you guys are just gonna have to wait until I come back. It is a well-deserved vacation, I might add, so I'm gonna have a lot of fun. But I go into my Arcanine, and he goes out into his Ampharos. Now, I didn't really care who he was going to bring out, because I wanted to get the Intimidate off on just any person or any Pokemon in his team, because none of his pokes really want to take an Intimidate, you know, just to get that attack drop. It'd be horrible, but I completely forgot Ampharos' new Power Gem, so that was rather unfortunate, because he decides to use it after I get the Willow off right here, and it does massive damage to me, and that is something I do not want to take, because he can just take my Arcanine out right here, and that would be rather unfortunate, because I need him. So I withdraw. I go into my Tangrowth, because my Tangrowth can kind of take the Power Gem, you know? So he kind of predicts that and uses the Agility instead, which it kind of sucks for me, because Ampharos' speed just boosts and boosts and you know, boosts. So he withdraws because he does not want to take any attack my Tangrowth has to offer. So I decided to use Leech Seed because, one, if he decided to stay in, then the Leech Seed would have, you know, taken more HP away from Ampharos. That would have been awesome. But I get the Leech Seed on the Exploud instead, which is still good, because I do get that HP from him. But I completely forgot Exploud new Ice Beam. Shows you how much I go up against them. So he takes my Tangrowth out with the Ice Beam, and that sucks because, you know, I could have at least use a knockoff or something, but I go into my Arcanine just to get the Intimidate off, and because I don't want this Exploud doing any more damage, so I go into my Blissey, because I know my Blissey can take a Boom Burst or something, you know, from the Exploud, and that's exactly what he uses against my Blissey. He decides to use the Boom Burst, not the Broom Burst, but the Boom Burst, and he doesn't really do tons to my Blissey, because one, I got the Intimidate off, and two, I think my Blissey could just eat that up anyways. I'm not really sure. I guess I can test it, but I get some HP back from the Leech Seed, and he goes into his Galvantula, and I decide I should probably use the Seismic Toss, because it was meant for any of his other Pokemon, but I do get the Toxic off instead, because I was thinking, my mindset at the time was that if he were to switch out, you know, who can take a Seismic Toss? Who can take a Toxic? So I figured if he was going to stay in, then I'd rather just Toxic the Exploud just to get some more HP away from him. But he did decide to switch out, which is perfectly fine. I do get the Toxic off on the Galvantula. He does get the Sticky Web up, which just sucks because it's going to slow my team down a lot. But he gets the Volt Switch, and I eat that up pretty well. It was rather unfortunate he did switch out because I wanted to get a Seismic Toss on the Galvantula, just weakening it. But I do get the Seismic Toss off on the Braviary. Let's see if I can say that right. So I do get some damage off, which is awesome, and my wish did come true, and I got that HP back, which is even better. And so he uses the Bulk Up, which sucks because he can do a lot of damage depending on what moves he knows. So I do get the Seismic Toss on the Braviary, just getting more of its HP down. Like I have been saying before, if you've been paying attention, any damage is good damage, and that right there is a fact. This right here, when he goes into his Torterra, is also a good example, because even though he eats the Seismic Tosses up pretty well, I'm still going to be using him because I know that I can just get him down low enough in his HP. But he just has to use the Rock Polish, and so that's rather unfortunate because now he's just going to outspeed me. And I use the Seismic Toss anyways because I want to get more HP away from him, because I want to be able to maybe, you know, bring in, I don't know, like my Haunch Crow or Noivern or something, and outspeed and just take him out. So, but he uses the Earthquake on my Blissey, and that's rather unfortunate because he brings me down to less than half. But I want to use a Toxic because I want this Torterra's help to get down more. Because I'm just thinking if I can take out his Torterra, that would be awesome. Because as I can see right here, he's just kind of a bulky thing, because I'm not really using any moves he's weak to, so that's why he's able to eat these up. Now, it's not predicting a Wood Hammer. I do not go up against Torterras. Go into my videos, go to the past, use the DeLorean, go to the past, look at my videos, and you'll see I don't go up against Torterras at all. So, that was a problem. But I did learn from it, and I will be thinking about that later on, because I'm going to take the DeLorean, go to the future, and bleh. So, I go into my big VO because I'm thinking I can just Sucker Punch him, take him out. I was hoping he wasn't gonna, I was hoping he was gonna stay in, and that's exactly what he does, because I am able to use the Sucker Punch to take the Torterra out. The Torterra was posing a problem! I don't want to put up with it! So, I do get the Moxie Boost, which is excellent. And I'm thinking, who is he gonna bring out? He goes into his Arcanine! Worst thing ever, because he uses the Intimidate, just drops my attack. Bleh. So I decided I should probably withdraw, because I don't want to take the chance of me, using a Brave Bird or a Sucker Punch and not taking the Arcanine now, because I don't want to take any of his attacks. I don't want to take an Extreme Speed, but I go into my Arcanine just to get the Intimidate off on his Arcanine, which is awesome. But I do get caught in the Sticky Web, which just sucks, because now he's able to take out, or try and take out my Balkanine with the Extreme Speed right here. And that just leaves me at 22 HP, but luckily he did not take me out because I used the Intimidate! And that's about it. So I use the Morning Sun just to get all that HP back, because I know I'm going to need my Arcanine later in the battle, just to get the Intimidate off and stuff, So he goes into Galvantula, his precious little thing. I was going to use the Protect, but just to kind of scout him, just to see if he's going to withdraw. And he does! And I think I should probably just use a Flare Blitz, have fun with that. And I take the Galvantula out with the Flare Blitz. And that's awesome because I don't want to put up with any Thunder, any Signal Beam or anything this Galvantula has to offer, because if I were to leave him in, if I was not able to take him out, whatever, then he would be able to take out my Alakazam or something, with a Signal Beam, and that would have been, it would have sucked. So he decides to use the Boom Burst on my Balkanine, Arcanine, and he takes my Arcanine out. Now, that really, really, really sucks, because if I had withdrawn my Arcanine and brought him back in and used the Intimidate then maybe it would not have taken me out. Maybe it would not have taken me out. I'm not really sure. I'd have to test that too. But he does take me out, and it sucks. So I go into my big Veto, my Honchkrow, my pink bird. So he goes into his Arcanine, getting the Intimidate off, which sucks, and I did not think he was going to withdraw, so I decided I should probably just use the Sucker Punch, but it does not work because he does switch out, and he does get the Intimidate, and I do want to switch out because I don't want my Honchkrow taking another risk of me possibly using a Sucker Punch or a Brave Bird or something and not taking the Arcanine now, because I want to be able to take attacks. I want to be able to give massive damage, to my opponent, because I'm so nice. So I go out in my Alakazam, and I do Mega Evolve, and I do get the Intimidate off on the Arcanine. Intimidate Alakazam is phenomenal, only because I get the Intimidate off on the Arcanine, and when he decides to use the Extreme Speed, it does not do much to me at all, because I did get the Intimidate. I'm figuring that if I did not get the Intimidate, and if he did use the Extreme Speed, it would have done more. Am I right? Let me know in the comment section below. So I get that Psychic off on the Arcanine doing massive damage, but he switches out because he does not want his Arcanine going down. I do use the Psychic on the Ampharos, the Pokemon he decides to switch into. While he is burned, he does lose more health. And that's awesome because I don't want to put up with a Thunder, the Ampharos. So I use a Signal Beam and taking the Ampharos out. I figured if he was going to switch out into any of his other Pokemon, then I was going to use a Signal Beam to maybe, 1, get the confusion, or maybe 2, get more damage from the power of the beam. So he ends up taking me out with the Brave Bird, which it does suck, but I was able to do massive damage to his Arcanine and take out his Ampharos, so, boo. congratulations there. I was gonna say Ampharos, but no, Alakazam. So I go onto my Noivern because I love Noivern. No, but seriously, I wanted to do some damage to him, but I did not outspeed, unfortunately. And he just barely makes me live with 12 to 19 HP. I forget at this point. I mean, I'm looking at it now, but I'm living! And I am just a huge bat dragon. So he goes on to his Arcanine, getting them Intimidate off, and I'm thinking, should I just let him take me out right here, or just have him take out any of my Pokemon that I'm gonna need later? So I let him take me out right here because at this point I can go into my big veto and try and get a Sucker Punch, but he's predicting me to do that. So he uses the Protect, trying to make me use more and more Sucker Punches. So he does use the Protect, and I do use the Sucker Punch. I was not predicting that. He does Withdraw, predicting me to use another Sucker Punch. And I do, but now I'm figuring him out. Now I know what he's gonna do. So now when he withdraws right here, getting the Intimidate off with his Arcanine and everything, I'm gonna use a Brave Bird. I'm going to use a Brave Bird, and I'm going to slice through the Arcanine like hot butter. And he does get the Intimidate off, which, like I said, is unfortunate, but I am able to get a crit with the Brave Bird right here, as you can see, because this was awesome. I was so glad I was able to figure him out, and I was able to, you know, not use a Sucker Punch and use the Brave Bird instead. So he goes on to his only Pokemon left, his Exploud, and I do use a Sucker Punch right here after my Moxie boost, and I do take that out, and I do take out the ice cream dealer. Not like he's dealing drugs, but he's dealing ice cream. But I take him out nonetheless with my Sucker Punch. This was a great battle because last time, if you remember, I lost to Scruffy. So if you're watching, I'm glad I won. I'm glad I won this time because, one, this is a great battle to win, and two, I deserve the win. You won last time. If I had lost this time around, I would have been so unhappy because I would have been thinking, how come I can't beat this guy? So I'm so happy I won. So happy. But make sure you guys go into my description. Make sure you click on the link for Scruffy. Make sure you guys show him some U-turn love because he will definitely appreciate that. Hell, I will appreciate you doing that for him. That would be awesome. I'll throw a party. I'll get balloons. I'll throw a cake in the air. I'll eat it. I'll slice it up. Yeah. So I'm done with that. But yeah, definitely show him show him some U-turn love. I wish I could talk. Show him some U-turn love. That'd be awesome. And don't forget to RCS to me, rate, comment, and subscribe. Have a wonderful bye. Beam. I just wanted my Tangrowth to go down right there. I guess I could have gone into my Blissey, but I wanted my Honchkrow to come in safely and take out the Empoleon. And so I'm glad I was able to do that. So I do take out the Empoleon with the Sucker Punch because I do have the Life Orb, and I do get the Moxie boost, which just raises my attack plus the Life Orb. So it was that +1 or +2.